So if you were to give like one piece of life advice, what would it be?
Don't do it. Just kidding.
Don't do what? Don't do what?
And once you don't do what you want to do what you should.
So how was I gonna do that? I wanted to make something big, something impactful. The only struggle was we had less than 48 hours to assemble everything. You see, the goal is to host a small dinner for those who live off the streets. This is a lot harder than it sounds. It takes a lot of phone calls, messages, rejections, and most importantly, ambition. The word no could not be in our vocabulary. If we wanted the event to go well, it needed a chef.
Hey dude, what's up?
Hey buddy, good seeing you.
Good, come on in, man.
This is Chef Jagger. He's changing the game when it comes to food services.
Behind the whole idea of why food needs to be rescued is there's two different levels to it. One level is that there's 1 in 4 children here in Toronto that are going hungry, and 1 in 7 families across Canada that are living with food insecurities. And as a chef, I noticed the copious amounts of food that's going to waste continuously on my end and everyone else's end that I've spoken to. And the statistics say that $31 billion worth of food annually goes to waste. I mean, we could feed world hunger times 3. I'm passionate about it because no one should be going hungry in our own backyards or even our own country.
Just got to Cambridge and I am so incredibly nervous. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out and ask people if they are willing to come to our dinner. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pumped and ready to go. 1 year ago today, I almost died. I had my stroke. I'm celebrating the anniversary of that 1 year. And so after facing that, I think I'm pretty good to face anything. So let's go meet some people and see if we can help them.
For the next 5 hours, my parents and I hit the streets determined to gather 12 guests for our event. This was our opportunity to shatter ignorance and provide an open door for communication. This day taught me a valuable lesson that I'll never forget. Despite our differences, we are all the same. We walk the same ground, share the same oxygen, and fear the same thing: loneliness. Okay, so everything has, I think, everything's almost done. Everything's almost fully assembled. We're good. This has been like a crazy, all of this has been assembled in less than an hour. So my dad is out there going to try and pick up all these people. And the crappy thing is, no one has shown up. Literally, out of the 12 people that we have given pamphlets to, only one of them is there. So I'm heading out now. Hopefully I'll be able to pick up a couple people along the way. It's gonna be pretty difficult now. It's starting to get late out, it's starting to get dark, and it was at this moment I believed the night was going to turn into a complete train wreck. But before we go any further, let's rewind a little bit. I think it's important for you to know why I'm doing this. The main motivation to hold this event was to gain clarity on a situation my sister was in. By the time she turned 28, she ended up on the streets. And for the life of my family and I, we couldn't figure out why. She had love and support from all sides, yet still ended up homeless. So tonight, I wanted to find out how my loving sister ended up on the streets and how I could help her in the future. Okay, so after talking to a few individuals, I was able to get together about 6 people. So they're all game to come out, as well as my sister, who's coming out as well. So the whole dinner is coming together a lot better than, actually way better than I could have ever expected. Almost all the seats are filled. And I think sort of the initiative that I want to change it to is, instead of trying to fill the seats with as many people as possible, it's to open the lines up of communication between both sides, those who walk on the street and those who live on the street. Like 48 hours ago, it was literally us on the streets asking people if they wanted to come out, making phone calls, booking this place. And in less than 48 hours, all of this is assembled. And I have to thank you guys for being willing enough to come out and join us for this dinner. It really means a lot to myself and my family.
All together into this is all for love.
Woo, woo, woo! Give it up! That was so good, man. Way to go. Nice. Tonight, I would love for you guys to share possibly how someone like me and my friends and whomever who ignore the struggling people on the streets, how can we help more? Because no one wants to be mean.
What you've done here tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Reaching out.
And
And if we can be fair, all of us felt the same way that you did before we came homeless.
Yeah,
We had
I
to
was just
become
about to
homeless
say,
to lose our
that's exactly my
blindness.
situation.
So I know a lot more now that I've been in this scene than I did before.
if you are feeling comfortable, in about 45 minutes, I'm going to set up a camera. And for those of you who are willing to share this advice that you're bringing up around the table, I would love to hear that.
The only insight I can give about this world is it can happen to anybody. It's just a series of life choices that lead you down life's road. And the choices that I made led me to the shelter. Freedom isn't free. You know, there's struggles being on the street. We don't know when our next meal is going to be. We don't know where our next shelter is going to be when it rains. A lot of us don't have blankets. Just that one simple item, it could lift your spirits.
Is there anything that you want to say on camera?
Don't fall in a trap of depression, because using once will make it that muddy hole that you can't climb out of. Find phone numbers, talk to people.
There's a lack of communication between the general public, the homeless, the drug addicts, and I always encourage people to come and talk to us. Don't sit there and drive by at 50 kilometers an hour yelling at us to get a job. You know, we're human beings, and that's all we want, is to be treated like we're human.
I can pretty much get a job in 2-3 days, it's not hard. But having the look and image that I have to portray to the company is not easy when you're on the streets. It's actually virtually impossible.
Would you say that you kind of chose this life?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. What brought you to this point of knowing that you chose it? What path were you on?
Can't say.
Life is hard, isn't it?
For everybody.
It's true.
For everybody.
She's gone seduction, yeah.
When making this documentary, I had a lot of requests to make sure I wasn't shining the homeless community in a bad light. The reason why so many people dropped out from the event to begin with was because they were nervous that I was going to tell their story wrong. They were afraid that they were going to be misrepresented. My best recommendation is to not disregard anybody and avoid being ignorant to someone else. I believe if we just listened to someone else and understood where they're coming from, most problems could be solved.